Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.
Good morning, you two. How we doing?
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. And it's a very special Monday at that. 100th episode, baby. Woo!
So exciting.
I know. I was going to say, Brandy, did you ever think we'd make it? But you haven't been here the whole time, so I'm sorry.
I'm going to take the credit, though. I know it's been such a journey, these 100 episodes.
100%.
Well, I think this is your 99th episode because of your fiasco in Orlando.
What fiasco? Oh, no. Come on. With Jamie? When Jamie was on?
Yeah, it was me and Jamie. And this is probably my 97th or something, 96th. Yeah. So
it's okay.
Combined, though, it's a 100 big deal. I don't know any data, but I'm going to make it up. 85% of podcasts don't make it to 100 episodes. We did it. We're here. And we've got a great guest, one of my favorite people in the industry. Just got to spend last week with him. Should we intro him?
Okay, we're going right at it. All right. We're wasting no time this morning. I love it. All right, let's welcome Jeff.
Hey, everybody.
The main man.
Not the intro I was expecting, Will, but okay.
Well, no, I was going to say that's our normal intro for people, but then we had a special one because, you know.
Oh, I got a special intro?
Oh, you got a special one today. And for all of our listeners, you may want to just kind of tune into this one really quick because Jeff apparently has a special gift. So here we go.
Is this how you move when you play?
Yeah. I thought maybe something like that was in store.
So
this guy,
I got to spend last week with Jeff, and he informed me he was a professional saxophonist
in a past life. In a past life, I played a lot of saxophone. Yeah.
So of course, naturally, the only saxophone song that people know right off the top of their head is that one.
Which Michael really reminded me of pretty much every day of the week in most rooms that I walked into.
One of the best songs ever. Like, let's be honest, it really is. So I'm sure you played it.
We have quite a few live listeners right now, and everyone's one, either congratulations or two, going to have that song stuck in their head all day, just like us. So you're welcome. I love it. And Jeff, I'm sorry that you had to live with Michael for multiple times a day of just saying sax man.
Yeah, it was great. Honestly, the benefits really outweighed the amount of times I had to listen to that song. So it was all good.
Well, tell us about yourself, Jeff. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Yeah. So my name is Jeff Alulian. I'm the CEO of Host GPO. My very quick background. I am a recovering attorney who worked in vacation rentals for about 7 years, had a vacation rental company with about 150 homes, did a lot of lease arbitrage, did a lot of property management, and then about 3 years ago started Host GPO, which is a buying group for vacation rental companies. So furniture, linens, amenities, supplies, all of the above, and streamlined ordering processes from name brands like West Elm, etc. And you join the group and are able to get discounted purchasing from all those brands.
It's for those unfamiliar on the hotel side, because I wasn't until I met Jeff, but GPO is group purchasing organization, and these exist within hotels to get really, really good rates. But because there is no massive short-term rental company out there, sans maybe one or two, Jeff has organized the organization and has a really massive purchasing power to get good rates on everything that you see behind Jeff's head.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
And
not
more.
just the hotel industry that has GPOs. I mean, the pharmaceutical industry, hospitals, restaurants, everybody has a GPO, but there really wasn't one for the vacation rental industry. So started it about 3 years ago, kind of opened it up to the public about 2 years ago, and we're at over 200,000 units signed up as part of our group. So we get the best rates guaranteed just because of the nature of our volume and because of our contracts with our vendors.
And that's not
Really
the only
impressive.
thing in your background. In the background of Will's head is something that we are giving away at the end of this show. We've shortlisted it to about 15 names or so, and we'll do a live giveaway. Stay tuned.
Yeah, right at the end.
Rating 100 and host GPO.
Yeah, we got to get people all the way through the end, the finish line, and then boom, someone's going to get a free coffee box. So very excited to partner up with you guys on that. Jeff, we've talked a couple times. I think you and I first met at last year's VRMA and did an episode, got into your story. Are you still operating any of your properties or units, or are you kind of now full host GPO?
I'm definitely full host GPO, but I have a handful of homes that I still run, just because, you can't walk away. You can't just walk away. You got to stay in it. I need to be involved, and they're also my favorite properties. So, the ones I like to stay in too. So I still have those.
Selfishly, you have to. I couldn't agree more.
Can't get
Have
rid of
to.
them.
No.
Well, they run themselves,
I love
so it's great.
Yeah.
Gives you some street credit too,
Yeah, for sure.
You're not gonna be one of those guys
I'm hip to all the changes.
Yeah. You implement all the new stuff that you hear about. It's cool. No worries. You
For
get
sure.
the sneak peeks. Awesome. Well, Jeff, so in this show, I'm sure you've tuned in every week, all 100 episodes you've been listening to and watching online. But we like to cover the recent news stories of the week, and then we're going to cover with you the big story of the week, which is going into direct bookings, which is great because you were also at the Book Direct show in Miami. So maybe you can take a little bit of this article, a little bit of that event, and kind of bring some knowledge, drop some bombs for the audience here. But while we're going, I'm going to pull up my screen so we can cover these stories. You guys ready to rock or what?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
We got this is one of my favorites. I will say if I had to pick any of the stories from this week, this would be one of my favorites. I love Cabana. I've never actually stayed in one yet, but I'm going to. It's been on my bucket list. They're based out in Seattle, which is where I was from before I moved to Denver, and they're pretty much they're a van company. Basically, you take a hotel room, you take what's in Jeff's background, and you put into a travel van, a Sprinter Mercedes, and you have fun and you go on the road. So they just raised $3 million. I think this is their second raise. They did like a small seed or pre-seed round back in the day, back in like 2019. So yeah, I just want to say this is one of my favorites. Any thoughts, questions, or comments?
No, I've been very curious about van life. It's not normally my normal style of vacation, but I was taking a look at their site and it looks pretty cool. So
I'm not a camper personally. I need a bed and an air conditioner. So this actually might get me camping because you can have a bed and an air conditioner. So this is about as close to camping as I'll get. Jeff?
There's a shower and a kitchen.
Very interested in van and camp and smaller vacation rental settings in general. The whole ADU trend that's going on. I think kind of emphasizes the fact that there's a big desire for small spaces. So I think this fits into that category as well.
I like what you did there. Big desire for small spaces.
It's a new tagline.
That's
Cabana's gonna
it.
take
That's topic of the
just
week
FYI.
next week, Will.
That one's for free. There you go.
I love that. Jeff's already contributing. You want to be another co-host? We only have 4. So
Yeah, as long as I'm on the East Coast.
yeah. I'm sorry that you had to wake up super early.
No, it's great.
Good thing we're giving away a coffee box today.
Yeah,
seriously. On brand.
Very on brand. All right, the next one. We got Trip Actions picks up 400 million in credit. I think last week we saw another article kind of similar, where there was more of a debt facility rather than an actual raise. But you have to forgive me, I'm not on top of who that actually was, so I'll have to pull that up. It was somebody important, I think. Oh, it was Wander. How could I forget that?
Yeah, with Credit Suisse. Yeah, I mean, credit is obviously different than equity, but from what I've understood, credit markets are a lot tighter than even equity markets. So to land this much money, things are going well. I've heard a bunch about Trip Actions. I think they're corporate expense management, travel expense management, but never used them. So it's a good sign for deep pocket companies that need cash. This is 2 weeks in a row that $100 million plus credit lines have come in. But at the end of the day, most of us listening are probably not in companies that are quite this big.
Not yet.
Yet.
Speak for yourself.
All right.
No,
I was gonna say Jeff drops an announcement. It's like, we've raised 250 million.
Yeah, on a $9 billion valuation. But no, I think I think equity debt is very expensive right now, and a big part of that reason is because, especially if you are an early startup, profitability is trending right now, and real businesses are trending right now. So the availability, there's always going to be money out there in various forms, but I think pipe dream ideas, pre MVP companies, etc., are really feeling the squeeze. Whereas I think this emphasizes the fact that real businesses are always able to kind of find some money here and there.
I like that. Real businesses. Very good. All right. This is not the first time we've seen a payment, or not a payment, I guess a credit card type company invest. Capital One did quite a few millions into Hopper recently. I think for the second time, they invested the first time too, not as much. But now American Express invests into hotel payment startup Selfbook. Personally, never heard of Selfbook, but yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'd say Selfbook, if it does what it promises, I've never used it. I am familiar with it, but if it can increase booking conversion for hotels, everybody likes an increase in booking conversion. It claims 25% on their website. So I think all of us that operate or take direct bookings would prefer a 25% increase in conversions. And it only makes sense that a massive credit card company ties in with payment solutions. So they can help drive things, be the preferred card, yada, yada. So talking about real companies with lots of money, the card companies, it's insane. So they've got plenty of capital to splash around. Amex is definitely the leader in the travel space, but it does seem like Capital One is trying to close in the backs of them.
Yeah, I'm personally a user of Capital One Venture, so what up? Shout out to you guys. Sponsor our show. That'd be great. Go ahead, Brandy.
Yeah, I'm always just I like seeing companies like this, more and more come into this space, because there really aren't a lot of options. So it's, having a little bit more competition would be great, because right now you're kind of limited. So I'll be curious to see if they break into our industry at all.
100%. Jeff?
Yeah, just echoing that, I think that there is a very big need, at least from what I hear anecdotally, for an increase in these types of services in vacation rentals, payment and payment processing, booking, payment type issues come up a lot, and with a very limited amount of options.
Mhm. Yeah,
Especially as you start getting into talking about integrations, PMS integrations plus payment issues and payment processing tends to get pretty complicated on a large scale.
Mhm. Yeah, I was gonna say shout out to Andrew Kitchell from Wheelhouse. We were working on a document of every category of technology in our space, not including hotel tech yet. And then payment processing was like one of the smaller ones where we could only find like 3 or 4 companies within the space outside of Stripe. And versus like property management softwares, you have hundreds, if not almost 1,000 plus. Once you get into like the hotel side, so it's pretty insane on seeing like the lack of payment processing opportunities or
It's
options.
expensive and it takes a long time to get through all of the red tape of payment processing. It's a disaster. But if you can get through all of that and have the funding to get through it, it's quite lucrative, taking a percent of all percent booked. So,
Well, I mean, look, all of those things that you just said, Michael, are about lack of competition, right? It's expensive, lack of competition.
high barrier to entry.
Service isn't great, lack of competition, right? This is it's 100% right that more options here will create better experiences and less crazy stuff like your payment processor saying, "Hey, we just froze all this money until we figure out, this one issue. And by the way, we don't have a phone line. And by the way, that's going to resonate with a lot of people that have had to try to figure that out."
Absolutely.
Preach. I was gonna say
I
preach.
think most
Amen.
operators have had that happen to them at least once.
Yeah. Sorry, all owners. We'll send out your payments as soon as we're able to get the money from escrow being held by Stripe.
Yeah, $300,000. We're gonna hold on to this just for a minute.
Yep.
Love it. Anybody want to cover this one? I'm not as informed or aware of Real. Like I know of Realpha, but not something I'm probably should talk about. No.
guess
All right.
not,
Cool.
not familiar with it. I was really curious about this. Just some of the things in the article that stood out to me that you see, like all of the kind of like AI backed companies. There just seemed to be like a lot of buzzwords within this article, and so I'm just curious if that's just becoming kind of a new, I don't know, kind of overused phrase that's getting tacked on to every company. I'd be curious. I need to do some more research on this company, but I thought that was just like my initial gut reaction when I saw the first couple lines of copy. I was like, of course, like it's not something else that's AI generated or AI backed, especially after this weekend of seeing everybody post those ridiculous AI selfies all over the internet.
Like Will.
I was one of those guys. Hell yeah.
So the comment for Realpha, the purchasing of second homes or vacation homes is something that we've talked about in the space a long time, but it hasn't actually taken hold. It really seems in the past few months, carrying through this retreat that Jeff and I were just on, that most people are talking about purchasing assets and managing them themselves. The owner operator model is trendy, and it makes sense. You have full control. There's no middlemen taking cuts. If you're capable of doing the operations and the revenue management, all aspects necessary to be successful. So especially as we go into a recession potentially, the owning of hard assets is always more business-like, in Jeff's words, than not having a real business. So having hard assets backstop what you have is helpful. So Realpha helps individuals or people purchase small shares. I believe, someone correct me if I'm wrong, So for those that can't go out and afford a $500,000 house, they can own parts of it and get the real estate returns, which will be more steady and more secure than the markets are right now.
For sure. All right, now to the main topic, and then I'll put us all back on full screen here. We got, oops, this is not the one I was supposed to pull up. My bad. JK, LOL. All right, here we go. Property managers and hosts report lack of progress in direct bookings. And this information and data mostly came from, actually, I think all of it came from the Hostfully industry report. I don't know. I didn't know if they fully published the report. I know I got the summary from David because we're recording an episode about it later, but I didn't know the full report came out. So I'm going to take us onto full screen here and kind of, I think we can jump into the details, but I know in the group chat here, us four have that article. So we can always pull it up to reference things later.
Jeff, what's your breakdown of professional versus like single host?
Can you be one more specific? You're talking about like
within Host GPO?
Like?
The majority of your users single one or two, or are they property managers?
No, Host GPO actually only takes members that have 3 or more vacation rental units, with exceptions. But we really focus on larger operators.
Awesome. Are they
and those types of folks as well?
Is the book direct movement big within your user base, or is that something you don't have a whole lot of insight into?
Yeah, I think that it is. And I think part of the reason is because it's been big everywhere, right? It's just been trending. And I think rightfully so. And I think that it trends more with larger operators than it does with smaller operators. So it definitely a big push, I would say, in our membership base.
Yeah, Will hosted a book direct conference earlier this year. I'd say a lot of people want to have more direct bookings. I don't know if everyone invests in getting more direct bookings, and those that do invest, I don't know if they're getting the ROI. And I'd say this article suggests they aren't. It could be that people are pulling back on their budgets, and the easiest place to pull is heavy marketing spend to try and get direct bookings. But the big brands have to invest in direct bookings. That's what they're telling Wall Street or their investors. Their secret sauce is saving 15% by spending 20% on getting it direct. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure it's a profitable endeavor for hosts with 20 or fewer or 50 or fewer. You really need some scale for it to make sense to go after the book direct, unless you're just so unique that you can cut out channels, or you have so much repeat business. And there's only a few markets where people go every single year, and it's the same families, the same weeks, the same years. So it makes sense. Look, everyone wants direct bookings. It's really hard to get. You can't pay-per-click compete with even the big competitors in your market, much less the big OTAs. So, try and remarket to them, to guests when they come, but the OTAs serve a purpose.
Yeah, I think that's especially, I mean, I'm always biased towards urban markets, but our biggest source of direct bookings are usually repeat guests. And that obviously makes the most sense, but you're never, booking.com in the survey, they're saying that, booking.com, goes up or, as they get larger. And it makes sense if you have, especially in an urban market, if you have 50 units in a building, it's more, BDC's product type. And so I think I agree with you. I don't know how you really compete with, someone that's aggregating all of the products in your area. I will say that if you're like in that smaller range, like 20 to 50. We've like anecdotally had success with, different social media campaigns with coupons that people can use. It's not a huge portion of our bookings, but it's a good way to keep to start. And, every booking that you can get direct is one that Airbnb or Vrbo is not getting. So I think it is kind of like a longer play, and having like the willingness to pay for the digital marketing. It's definitely something that people cut first, but you have to, I hate the phrase, you have to spend money to make money, but in this case, it's, absolutely true.
Yeah, I was going to say kind of what Michael said on the unique stay thing. I know a lot of properties in the treehouse space, or even just like kind of that, I wouldn't call it glamping, but more of like a private property where there's acreage, there's, they create an experience around the home. They do very well. I'm talking to Tori from Bolt Family Farms out in Tennessee tomorrow, and they were featured on Netflix on the vacation rental series. And, they do actually almost all direct bookings, and they're like very set and determined on who their guest is. And it's a lot of honeymoon, anniversary type travelers. So like if you can hit that market, great, because people are always getting married, people are always having anniversary, there's always that special thing. But kind of like what you guys both have said, I think with scale, we're seeing that book direct does have more power when you have that type of inventory, like number wise. I think for companies even like mine, recreation doesn't do strong amount in book direct, and that's just because we don't have as many properties. So to to make it like compelling for a repeat guest, yeah, maybe they'll book that property once again or after they want to come back or whatever, but it's not going to be like they have a huge like plethora of inventory to search from and kind of have their fun with. So that's kind of my thought on it. Jeff, what's your thinking?
I think I'm trying to figure out why this feels surprising, right? That's where I'm going, because it seems really logical on its face. But I think the reason why it feels surprising is because all we do is hear about book direct a lot. Like it's a big conversation topic, and rightfully so, because I think people should be thinking about it. But I look at the communication that goes on out there. I look at a lot of what people are talking about, and while I think book direct is really important, it is one piece of a very long roadmap to create a successful vacation rental company. And I think a lot of people try to come out of the gate and do everything all at once, and that tends to be not the best use of time or resources. As much as everybody likes to hate on Airbnb, myself included, for a lot of reasons, it is a great marketing tool to start getting into this industry. And I'm not saying don't think about book direct, because you should. Why? I mean, I made this mistake in my vacation rental business. We were not branded, right, until way late in the game. And to go back and try to rebrand everything that I did was a huge missed opportunity. And so, sure, even if you have 3 units or 5 units, you should start thinking about like creating a brand name, unifying it on a website, like those types of things. But spending marketing dollars out of the gate when like your unit doesn't make a ton of sense, or when you're not really focused on all of the other get the ball over the net type things like pricing and being listed on other channels that are free, right? Those seem to be like the earlier questions that should be answered, while book direct, rightfully so, should be a later hurdle to jump over, right? So I think it's not surprising at all that booking direct seems to be a larger portion of bookings for larger companies. But I think it feels surprising because there's a lot of emphasis on it, because it is like a hot topic that I think people don't, if you're new to the space, it's something you've never thought about before. So it really catches your eye.
It'd be nice to save 15%. Right?
Sure. Yeah, exactly.
I think it's about, to me personally, it's more about balancing your booking channels versus only book direct, right? There's not many properties that can survive, that can actually build to a point they can survive off of direct bookings only. kudos to those who have. Like, you've got something really unique and really special that is not transferable to the mass market. It just plain and simply isn't. The thing that scares me is people's over-reliance on Airbnb and doing everything you can to not have Airbnb be greater than 50% of your bookings. Make sure you're on the other channels. Try and prioritize some of those other channels for bookings, just so you aren't terribly exposed if Airbnb pulls an Airbnb and shuts down your account or holds on to your money or cancels all your bookings. Right? Like, if they close down your account and cancel all your bookings, you're screwed. You have to have a balance there of booking channels. And I think, what does Book Direct mean for me is try and build it. John messaged in saying it takes time. Yeah, 100%. It takes a long time. You're not going to get results in the first 5 years. And if you are, it's going to be incremental. The thing you can do is diversify, and that can happen overnight in the right markets.
Yeah, I think also there's bigger companies that maybe tout a higher percentage of direct bookings. And if you have a company like Sonder, they are also getting really large corporate contracts. Like, they're getting a big portion of that number from like maybe a couple of groups that are signing on for long periods of time or for recurring stays or whatever it is. So I think it's important to kind of realize that there's a lot of direct bookings aren't necessarily people going to your website and booking. There are other ways that people are building that number.
And Sonder probably discounts by more than 15% for those group stays, right? Those corporate discounts. So are you better financially? It's a wash, but it's a lower reliance on any one particular channel, which is a big win.
Yeah. I was gonna say the big thing, like smaller operators under that 20 unit. I think the big thing, don't discredit Book Direct, but focus on your technology, focus on your operations, and like build a sustainable business that can build to it. I think that's the big thing, is just not to be an Airbnb host and call it that. Like, that's what I see on social media all the time, is like, oh, I'm an Airbnb host, or like these investor gurus on whatever news channel. Gosh, don't even get me started this early in the morning. But that's what drives me nuts. Like, oh, I'm on Airbnb and I do all this stuff, and it's like, okay, cool, you have 150 properties on Airbnb alone, but do you have a real business? No, I don't think so, until you diversify and focus.
My favorite is on LinkedIn. It says Airbnb host. Like, that is your title. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Rethink it. Jeff, parting thoughts before we get into the giveaway?
No, not really on the Book Direct movement. I think it's great, and it's something people should be talking about. But the real takeaway is, when is the right time to? Oh, and also, like, on the giant roadmap of vacation rental setups, I often see people like, Book Direct isn't a take it or leave it. I know we've touched on this like in a couple different ways, but the low hanging fruit is remarketing. Right? Remarketing is a Book Direct methodology. It doesn't have to be Google ad spend. It doesn't have to be, other things. You really want to get direct bookings, figure out how to get your listing in like Condé Nast, or like figure out how to be on a Netflix show or something like that, right? So those are all really good steps. You want to get direct bookings, make an Instagram account for your properties. Like, that's a huge thing. And once you do that, Book Direct can be incremental. Tough to say, but I know a lot of people who, especially starting out, will book direct by sending people to their, Vrbo listing or sending them to their Airbnb listing. That counts. Like, Book Direct isn't just save 15%. It's also get somebody directly to your listing without fighting everybody else on SEO. Without fighting everybody else when they search your property, right? So I really encourage people to think about all the steps of it before jumping into, I got an email from Google for $50 of free ad spend, and I'm going to go sign up $400 a month to try to get somebody to book one property. Yeah.
It's
a sliding scale.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I love the way you said that. It was good. All right. Well, we got our short list of giveaway winners, and we're gonna do it live here on the show. So you guys ready to see who's gonna win
press
a
the
coffee
wheel.
box?
Can I press the wheel?
Sure. We could say you could press the wheel.
All right, I'm gonna press it on
You're
the count
telling-
of 3.
we
1,
go.
2, 3. Press.
Why is
2,
it not
1.
going?
2,
There we go.
1.
All right.
It's moving slowly.
It's spinning.
It's blue.
Woo!
Carabeth Cottage.
Carabeth Cottage.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
Congrats. Yes.
Should we talk about what's in the coffee box and why it exists and all those things too?
Yes, please
Let's do it. Jeff, give us the rundown. I know you have this down like a pro. So
I do. Yeah. So Coffee Box is one of the Host GPO boxes. One thing that we really focus on, in addition to kind of giving these big, 50% off discount type things on the furniture and mattresses and amenities, etc., is building out streamlined ordering processes. So Coffee Box is one box where you can go onto the Host GPO site and say, I want a coffee setup. And with one click, you can order this coffee box, which is an espresso machine, Nespresso pods, mugs, and espresso cups. And the idea there is you don't have to shop on, this is a box from Williams-Sonoma. Oh, here it is. So this is a box from Williams-Sonoma. So you don't have to search through Williams-Sonoma to figure out which mugs are the right ones, which coffee machine is the right one. And you're going to be able to buy this on Host GPO at a significant discount. The other boxes that we have are things like Kitchen Box, where you can one-click an entire kitchen worth of items, your pots, your pans, your plates, that kind of stuff. Or Bed Box, where you can go in and say, I got 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it's a couple twins, queens, etc. Go and we'll put together that entire linen package for you. It's fully editable, etc. So we try to create boxes for different parts of the home to really streamline that ordering process and help guide you and save you from the analysis paralysis of reading Amazon reviews or anything like that, and really guide you towards quality products that are readily available to furnish and restock your vacation rental listing.
And if you're design averse like I am, it's best to let someone else do the picking. So love these. A lot of people that might be getting into real estate might not have a knack for design. So Host GPO can help put it together and bulk purchase at discount. So love what you guys are doing. It only makes sense to add it to this space. It already exists on a very, very big scale in other hospitality verticals. So
thanks. Yeah, we're
Jeff,
really excited.
Sorry, I think we have a lag on my end. My bad. Jeff, any wise words for the audience listening today? Anything that you would just, from a golden nugget for the week ahead, what would that be?
Golden nugget for the week ahead. I would say, okay, here's my golden nugget during shopping seasons, which is be careful about hidden costs. So there are a lot of folks who wait until Black Friday or Christmas shopping to go out and try to purchase an insane amount of items because you can find them at discounted pricing. But there are a lot of hidden costs in doing stuff like that. And I'm not saying don't do it. I mean, certainly there's a lot of Host GPO brands, like Article or things like that, where the discounts are stackable. And you see a sale, or Solo Stove, right? You see a sale on their site, stack our discount on top. Sure, totally. But what I'm really cautioning people away from is the hidden costs of the amount of time you spend is a cost. Time is a cost. So if you're running around to 14 different Costco's to try to find, certain towels, right? That is a lot of time and that is expense. And then the second one is, avoid purchasing one-off items when you can standardize. So my hot tip during shopping seasons is, sure, that TJ Maxx, off-white or cream colored sheet set could be $9, but then you're going to have like one cream sheet set like mixed into your larger portfolio of sheets. And you're going to take away from that standardization. So I guess the big tip there is beware of hidden costs during shopping seasons, but definitely take advantage of all of the discounts that there are out there.
I love it.
Awesome.
I love it. Great way to end. Jeff, it's been so good to have you on the show and see your face. I wish I got to see you in Austin last week like Michael did, but
you were very missed. You were very missed. There was less dancing than there should have been. I'll tell you that.
Oh, thank God. Thank God. I still got that for myself. Love it. Awesome. Well, for all of our live viewers and listeners or anyone listening to the replay on Apple or Spotify, we want to say thank you for being a part of this journey with us. It's been so fun to do 100 episodes with you, to have the live engagement as we've seen today and on many other episodes. And to our coffee box winner, we're so excited to get that into the palm of your hands and into the property with your guests. So I think we'll leave it at that. We'll see you guys all again next week.
Want to stop juggling spreadsheets, calendars, and a dozen apps just to run your rentals? Logify makes it easy. It's an all-in-one toolkit for hosts. Build a direct booking website, automate guest messaging, and keep all your channels in sync. Running your rental business your way has never been simpler. And for Good Morning Hospitality listeners, you can get 20% off any yearly plan with code GMH20. Just check the link in the show notes to get started today.